All right, good morning, man. I'm trying to get. I guess I've been up for a minute. Good morning to you, beautiful people. Money and Power Show, where we're going to be covering, trying to cover, nonetheless, a stock market and a crypto market recap. And this show is originally geared towards just clearly just investing itself. We've been having some issues lately, just trying to get some sites to kind of move on our new platform. So. Anyway, good morning to you guys. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified global financial educator. Really trying to dive into stocks and crypto here this morning, which are two places, not the only two places that you can choose to invest to try and grow your wealth and your money. So, want to do a recap for both of those markets. Take 30 minutes for each, and see if we can get going here. So. Give me just a second as I am trying to get another window to pop up so we can take a look at both of these markets. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. We are back here, and maybe, just maybe, I may not be able to go to CNN as I would have hoped to go, but we will see if it's going to work with us here this morning. It just moves pretty slow. Got a lot going on over there on that site. All the pop-ups, all of the pop-ups, and all of the moving windows and stuff like that. So let's see here if we can get this thing going. What's going on, Tisha? How you doing, Miss Yvette? So I may just not be able to pull it up in the beginning and just kind of bring it up in the end. But nonetheless, I really like to kind of recap using CNN and then also probably Yahoo Finance. So we'll get where we can go. I think that, it's kind of important to look at both markets because there may be some similarities between what's going on in cryptocurrency, what's also going on Wall Street. And it seems to be a big fight between the two, money flowing in and out of both, and from stocks to commodities to gold and things like that. Then also what's going on in the cryptocurrency space, we'll be looking in the second half. We'll also find some interesting comparisons as it relates to volatility, which is the sentiment of the market, how people are feeling as it relates to the market itself when they drop reports on employment and rates and things like that. So it has been interesting to watch both and see how things are moving as it relates to our money in these particular markets. So this is a stock market recap and also a crypto market recap. Just kind of get us a feel for what's going on in these two markets. Of course, these aren't the only markets that people may decide to invest in to increase their to give their money an opportunity to increase their wealth. But this is some of the latest. And so starting here, as we see this Zoom, which has been a very popular platform during the pandemic, they spent some of that money to buy a software company, Five9, and $14.7 billion deal. We see that Netflix stock has been struggling. That's very interesting as well. And what some of you guys may like this, former Facebook executives calling for platforms to improve transparency. I know many people are having issues with Facebook and their community standards that no one understands, and it's forcing people to kind of leave and go to different platforms. We had a Ford calling for SUV recalls, 775,000 Explorers, and I find this very interesting down here at the bottom. The Federal Appeals Court ruling will allow CDC to enforce COVID rules on cruises. So the cruise industry is one of those industries that's due for a bounce back once they kind of deal with how they're going to monitor or manage their passengers as they come aboard the cruise ships. But I am expecting this cruise industry in itself to be one of the ones that returns here as relates to more people cruising, more money flowing into that market as they ramp back up to levels before the pandemic. And we'll take a look here at the market as a whole as far as our recap for today. So understand, guys, that big money or institutional money it just flows from one place to the next, from wherever they can find places to grow money or grow money. That's kind of where it goes. And so that could be between real estate, between the stock market and businesses, and also the crypto market. And of course, they all bring forth their own level of risk that you could lose the money itself. But the stock market has been pretty reliable, and we'll take a look here in just a second. So we see as we closed out business on Friday, the Dow, which is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it was down 0.86% or 299 points. But it's it's been up. I mean, we're looking at record highs here for the Dow, getting to 34,687 points. The Nasdaq, which is another index that houses a lot of technology stocks that are out there, and that was a big boom for this COVID season. It was down 0.8 as well, just down flat on Friday. Fridays are normally a flat day anyway. It was up to 14,427 or the Nasdaq and S&P 500, which is kind of a broader index at 4,327 points to close out on Friday. And now, as I think about the stock market, I try to think about what's due to prosper moving forward. We see these key stats here. A year and a half ago, I was talking big about oil, saying, hey, this is a undervalued asset, a commodity. Back then, it was down to $10, $15 for a barrel of oil. Now we see over as time has passed, it's jumped up significantly. And the oil markets, anything that has to do with oil has benefited from this rise all the way to $70 a barrel. So if you guys remember this show a year and a half ago, it's kind of what we're talking about. To buy low and sell high, to find undervalued, assets, commodities that still bring value to the marketplace that you could get for cheap, hold on to for a little while, and you could prosper later. Gold itself, which is considered to be a store of value, is at $1,800 right now per ounce. This is a drop, I would say, from its high of 2,100, I believe it got to at some point. So, but gold is something that's still valuable as it relates to this precious metal. Could be used to store value, as a bet against inflation. One thing that came up, and I hope I'm able to find it today, is to really talk to you guys about this thing called inflation, which is the increase of prices, for services and goods over time. How many of you guys have noticed that things that seem to be getting, even if it's by the dime, if it's by the quarter, if it's by the penny, you're noticing things that are like, wait a second, that seems to be more expensive than it was. Last time I came to the grocery store, last time I went to the gas pump, I remember I was driving to go pick, and I went to get some gas at a particular gas station, and I was like, dang, $3.29 seemed to be a little bit more expensive than what I'm used to paying, which was probably about $2.79 at the time. And so gas across the nation, guys, again, this is stuff that we use every day, and it may be cheaper in your area than in some areas, but the average gas price across the nation is $3.72 per gallon. And so, and that's up 1.39%. That's up. Inflation has risen to a record high in the past 13 years of 5.4%. Milk is getting more expensive. Eggs are getting more expensive. Gas is getting more expensive. And so, and understanding that the cost of living will increase, but not necessarily that our incomes increase to the level of the cost of living. We got it's incumbent upon us to do something about it to make sure we're not losing our purchasing power and we're not losing wealth over time just due to the fact that we got to pay more for stuff. And so this is why investing is kind of important, because you can find things that can outweigh or outpace inflation rates and actually grow your wealth while you're still having to live with the increase in prices, so to speak. And so that's just a very interesting metric. The Dow Jones, and as I talk about, so 5.4% is the inflation rate. Well, if we look at these numbers here, as we look at the Nasdaq, Dow, and S&P, we see that since the beginning of the year in 2021, just investing itself, even in these indexes, you look, 13% in the Dow, 12% in the S&P. I'm sorry, in the Nasdaq, and 15% in the S&P 500. Now, investing normally in the market, in the stock market, is an average rate of return of about 8%, 7-8% historically. So this year has been a phenomenal year as the economy recovers, for some of your money to have grown with the investments that you might have made. And although the market fluctuates up and down, you can still be up 15%, which is outpacing that inflation rate of your cost of living of 5.4%. And that's one of the main reasons to get into investing, is to try to protect the money or the dollars that you have accumulated, or that you have been I'm gonna look up inflation here in just a second, that you have earned, right? So let me I'm trying to find the article. I had it here. Well, I've had it here before, but I see what they got to say here about inflation, because I just want to show you guys this. And it's very scary in a sense, if you don't understand it. So let's see if we can find. So they got record car prices that's going out despite sky high prices and surging customer demand. Most automakers are about to report that revenue is down from where it was according to 2019. So it's something, if you guys have been shopping for cars, or getting new vehicles, prices are crazy. You got this former Treasury secretary who's breaking down the rising inflation. It says, hey, consumer prices are up 5.4% the past year. Gas is up 45%. Former Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers said that the Fed shouldn't raise the interest rate yet. It should do things like stop buying mortgages when the housing market is on fire. I'm trying to see here. How far are we going to go back here? I don't know. I'm trying to find the inflation article here. That's what I really wanted to show. Like, some restaurants are saying inflation could force them out of business without federal help, because the price of their, the cost of the food is getting more expensive that the restaurants will use, and so and they either going to have to increase their prices to serve people, or they end up losing money because of inflation. Inflation is such a big deal. Oh wow, this is really going back. Let me see if I can find it. I really want to show you guys. Maybe we can look here. So it looks surging price. Key measure on inflation posts biggest 12-month jump on record. Let me look at this one. So inflation. So when we talk about cryptocurrency, guys, or Bitcoin, one of those things is a hedge of protection against inflation. But if we don't understand this word inflation and what it really means, then we may not seek areas in order to protect the money that we have earned over. Well, let me make this a little bit bigger. I think it's small. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you guys to see. And this is just all financial literacy, guys, in the markets. We can call it investing literacy, but it is some stuff that we can begin to understand and know, and then try to fight off if we can. So understanding money, right? So let's look at this real quick. The producer price index measures prices paid by businesses rather than consumers. The Department of Labor reported PPI rose 7.3% for finished goods and services over the last 12 months, up from 6.6% measured period before. The price of finished goods rose 1.2% in June, but it was down 1.5% in May. And so this is one
of the unique features of the COVID crisis is the speed at which.
I just absolutely hate that they just pop up videos. That's what makes this site move slow.
The demand for goods about it, and so that has led to unprecedented.
Yep, that's what makes this thing move super slow. So we're saying, hey, businesses, the cost of business is rising, especially for restaurants or for places that serve food. The chicken is getting more expensive. The eggs are getting more expensive, and they're either going to eat those costs, which they're probably not, or transfer those costs to their customers to help offset the cost that they have. So this is how, you know, the steak gets more expensive, or the burger becomes more expensive, or, you know, you no longer have a 99-cent, you know, menu because you just can't afford to offer those things at those particular rates. Talking about here why inflation may not go away anytime soon. All right, it's running hot. What comes next matters most. So all of this stuff is the cost of things, the prices of stuff has an impact across the way. It has an impact on businesses, has an impact on the consumer, has an impact on our wallets, and that's a major thing that's you know, over the past week. Right, here we go. Here it is. Inflation rockets to a 13-year high. So how many guys have seen you know, an increase at the gas pump, an increase at the grocery store? Obviously, there'll still be some things that's on sale, which is how I shop. But my goodness. Oh, what's going on with you, man? Oh, we're gonna do good. Thanks for asking. Good morning to you. Play to win. How are you? I like Zoom because I have meetings with them on Sundays. Oh, cool. Ridiculously high. Right. Yes, cost of living across the board has increased. Got to make up for 2020. Food is so expensive. Yep. I like physical silver to protect against inflation. It's smart. It's a small. It's fantastic. So we're talking about a 13-year high for the cost to live for the most part. That's what inflation, the cost to basically live. Oh, look at this. Amazon adds voices of Shaq and Melissa McCarthy to Alexa. All right, fantastic. So here we have, this came out on July 13th. And the prices, again, here we go, right? So consumer price index, you know, 0.9% June, largest 1-month increase in 13 years, up 5.4% over the past year. Much of the rise in prices due to gasoline prices, which is far above last summer levels. The pandemic caused sharp drop in driving and the price of oil, but travel is back. So is demand for gas and oil. Now, here's the thing. So although you know, we may not like the price of gas or the price of these things going up, this is also giving us an indication of places that are, when we hear this word. So, oh my goodness,
unique features of the COVID crisis is the speed at which.
I don't even know if we can just, like, no pop-ups, please. My goodness, no pop-up videos. This is why I stopped coming to CNN too, by the way. Just too much going on here. But here's the thing, though. So is demand for gas and oil. So if demand of gas for oil is up, right, that's a, you know, 45%, gas price rose 45% compared to a year earlier. So last year, obviously, you know, driving decreased, travel decreased, demand for gas and oil decreased, which is why at that time I was saying, hey, this is a great place to actually invest for now, so that later as the demand grows, because, you know, travel will come back, cruising will come back, flying will come back. You know, eventually, you know, going back to the office will come back, I'd imagine. You know, just summer traveling. So now that demand is coming back in such a way, supply is still limited, which is driving the price of gasoline up, which is actually, you know, which is actually kind of why we see oil up so high, up to $70 per barrel. But look at this, food prices are up 2.4%. But prices of dining out rose 4.2%. Restaurants are having trouble attracting help as they try to reopen, which has led to higher wages. That increased cost is getting passed on to customers. But volatile food and fuel prices aren't the only drivers of higher costs. Stripping out those categories, so-called core CPI rose 0.9% in June, 4.5% over the past 12 months. That represents the biggest 12-month increase in that closely watched measure in 30 years. 30 years of watching this information, and we're talking about the highest increase in a 12-month period. And obviously we can understand that because we were probably at a low period this time last year, and trying to get back to normal levels, I guess you can say, would drive that price. But it's still a shocking increase in such a short amount of time. Record prices for used cars accounted for more than a third of overall prices. Used car prices went up 10.5% in June, largest 1-month jump in records that go back nearly 70 years, and a stunning 45.2% over the past 12 months. So this is the used car industry where they're where cars are just super expensive right now. This is not the best time to be buying a car, but you know, what if you absolutely need a car? You're paying top dollar for that particular vehicle. Why? I don't really know. New car prices up 5.3% over past year, hitting record levels. These are all prices that people go and buy stuff for convenience or for their needs, and they're paying premium prices for this stuff. Car prices being driven up by strong customer demand for cars, along with a limited supply due to a shortage of computer chips needed to build the cars. Rental car companies, a key seller of used cars, already sold off much of their fleet cars last year to raise cash during the pandemic, and now they don't have enough cars to rent. So we're seeing this cycle take place where we went into the pandemic, and basically companies or businesses started to sell off their assets in order to make it through the pandemic and to raise cash. Well, on the flip side of that, when the demand comes back, now they don't have enough supply for all of the people that now want cars or want to travel or whatever the case may be. So in order to offset that demand with limited supply, that means that the supply that they do have can increase in price. And this is how this cycle works, right? It's like, okay, well now, you don't have enough cars for everybody. So anybody that does want a car, you're going to pay not only top dollar, but it's going to pay even more because of the high demand for this limited supply until it begins to balance itself out. So just know if you're in the market for a vehicle, this is not the good time to be buying a vehicle. The good time to be buying a vehicle was probably when you couldn't afford to buy the vehicle, which was last year during the pandemic, when it was the best time to buy anything for the most part. And that's why we say that, when it comes to investing, it's like, hey, if I save up my money during the good times, I can have the money available to buy stuff during the lean times. And that's exactly, and we're seeing that play out. For those that had prior to the pandemic saved their money, had a storehouse kind of built up, they were in a position to then buy up assets, to invest in companies that were low. I mean, extremely low. You're talking about the cruise industry, the airline industry, rental car industry, all the stuff that was kind of not in use or not being used specifically during the pandemic time where people were at home, right? We saw that flip, right? So, hey, while we're at home, here's the stuff that's important. The Zoom is important. The connectivity from the connectivity from home, the Uber and the Lyft, where we can get stuff delivered, the UPS and the FedEx, all those stuff. That was really, really important and really, really valuable during the time of the pandemic. What about post-pandemic? Well, post-pandemic is kind of going in reverse. All the stuff that wasn't as important, it wasn't in demand prior to the pandemic, is now becoming more in demand now that people are getting out and about. And so, and that's kind of how I set up my portfolio. I started thinking about, okay, well, what's going to return? What's going to be an area or an industry that's going to be highly valuable, highly in high demand once we get through the pandemic? And so as I look to invest, I'm investing for the future. I'm investing for what's going to happen in the future, not necessarily what's happening right now. Now, look at this, particularly true for the price of travel. For example, airfares are up 24.6%. Now, if we remember, right, when they couldn't give a flight away, and now 25% increase in prices for traveling via the airlines. Hotel and motel prices rose 15.1%. Both are still below where they stood in June of 2019 ahead of the pandemic. So these are the areas that, although these prices are rising, but these are the areas where you see high demand, low supply, right? Hotel, motel, that's I guess you can call that what the hospitality industry. We have travel, airfare, cruises. That's a place that there's high demand and low supply. And that low supply isn't necessarily the planes. The low supply is the workers that they have in order to facilitate those that travel. We have the car industry or automotive industry, right? Again, not necessarily. Well, in this particular case, it would be supply. They didn't load up on a whole bunch of cars to sell this year because they didn't want to be stuck with a whole bunch of inventory that no one was buying. Rental car industry. These are areas that you can look into just based off this article that you're seeing. Hey, man, here's a place where where there seems to be some huge demand and a perceived lack of supply, which could drive up the values or the stock prices behind some of these of companies that are behind some of these areas that were once low. They were once close to bankrupt, quite possibly, but now with restrictions lightening, with the economy opening back up, these are places where money is flowing into, because this is what people have been used to. People have been used to getting on a plane. People were used to taking a cruise. People were used to riding in the car. People were used to going to the gas station. So people are getting back to doing what they used to do, and it could bode well for some of these companies that represent these areas that have high demand and low supply. So just some quick kind of insights into just this one article and how the impact of inflation is on us as consumers, and also the impact of inflation in the market, and some places to look to put your money if you're looking to grow wealth over time, right? It's places to look to put your money if you're looking to grow wealth over time. So that's kind of where we are. And I like to kind of just do it. I'm probably gonna have to find another website, because this is just too much going on here. This is probably what's slowing up everything. Good old CNN. But that's kind of what's going on in the markets. England is lifting their COVID-19 restrictions. We see that here. Obviously, there's a big thing with Space Jam that took place over the weekend with their released LeBron and all that stuff as well. This is what's going on in the stock market. Let's take a look at the crypto market here, and some news that's going on in cryptocurrency. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a new I'm gonna have to find a new resource other than CNN. They just got too much going on, slows everything up. So here's for cryptocurrency. Binance has been in the news so much. Binance is one of the largest exchanges where people go to exchange their dollars for or their currency to get into the crypto space. Binance has had China and UK and all that stuff come up against them. It's saying here they burn 400 million as regulated circle. It looks like they're trying to let's find out what this article is about. It's a burn on a BNB token. It's just on. Oh, okay. So this is just the token that represents the Binance exchange. This looks like it was already scheduled to happen, right? A lot of burn was they're burning their own tokens to make them more scarce. And this was something that looks like it was already. Looks like it was already. Okay, this sounds like it's already scheduled, but they are facing a lot of scrutiny from regulators. This particular exchange they're not letting them do business in certain places and stuff like that. So I'm very leery when I start to see that as it relates to if this is and unfortunately. Binance has a lot of coins that some exchanges don't have, and you're able to do a lot with Binance. So it would really hurt crypto as a whole, because this is one of the major places that many people go out across the world in order to access Bitcoin. So this is not really news. This is just something that they already had on tap. Here's good news though. ARK Invest. So if you're familiar with ARK Invest, so we just talked about the stock market. ARK Invest is run by Cathie Wood. Cathie Wood is the woman who's behind the whole ARK investing, and so they just have bought another 54 million in Square stock. Now, Square is a stock led by Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey is a big Bitcoin enthusiast, a Bitcoin believer. Bitcoin is really bullish Bitcoin, and they have just created. They're working on creating an open source platform, I believe, for non-custodial Bitcoin accounts or Bitcoin wallets and stuff like that. So we can see these big Bitcoin crypto enthusiasts who are kind of investing in each other's companies. So even if you didn't want to necessarily own crypto on the standpoint of going to a crypto exchange like Binance or Coinbase and acquiring cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin or any other coins, you can still get exposure to cryptocurrency through some of these companies that are Bitcoin believers. So Square does have, if you guys don't know, Square does allow you to acquire Bitcoin through Square or through Cash App, which is owned by Square. PayPal is another one that allows you to acquire Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin through PayPal, right? So these are publicly traded companies that are giving people access to cryptocurrency, PayPal, Square, and then you have other companies that have bought Bitcoin, like a MicroStrategy or Michael Saylor, and now Cathie Wood. So these are like innovative people, significant companies that do believe in Bitcoin, that you can say, you know what, I'm not, I'm stick to the stock side, and I might just acquire some Square stock, acquire some ARK Invest, acquire some MicroStrategy, and I might put together a little list of those that I know, and we can take a look at those individually, probably throughout the week, at those companies that are crypto related, quote unquote, and see how they have performed, over the past year or so, and that may give us some good indication of some quality stocks to invest in that still are Bitcoin related. DeFi project Aave. Aave is a DeFi project. It's a coin that we looked at about 2 weeks ago. They are looking to release an Ethereum-based Twitter alternative, so a social media alternative. They're looking to basically, try to create create a decentralized social media platform, which could be good in its own right. Alibaba is in the news, another company that has stock, another business. Well, they're bringing NFT real estate. So if you guys remember Decentraland or Mana, if you guys heard about the $913,000 sale of digital real estate, well, Alibaba is bringing NFT real estate to the Chinese Entrepreneurial Festival. For the first time in the 6-year history, Alibaba's Taibo Maker Festival in China includes some real estate NFTs in its lineup. These are from Web3 Games and NEA. So they are, although China, we know how China is, but this NFT boom is still happening here. This is called metaverse real estate. We have influence from Elon Musk. He put a little picture up with dog eyes on his Twitter account, and that drove Dogecoin to spike up 10% overnight. So here's some of the news that's and we can keep going on the news, but let's take a look at at the market itself and do a quick recap. So some good news, some interesting news, but really, guys, it really has had no major impact on the prices or the movement of cryptocurrency. So it's really, first take a look here at Bitcoin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. What's been going on with Bitcoin over the past week, over the past 24 hours. So here we have, over the weekend, come Friday, we had a drop of price of Bitcoin. Now, that's been going sideways, in between this $31,000, this $34,000 range, probably for the past 3 weeks or so. So this is not, to me, it's not a significant drop, but to me, it's showing some very, very strong support right down here where we kind of sit at 31.5. So it is looking to hold that line at 31.5. Still some selling pressure taking place, but we're really in the belief that, as we see, if we even go a month out, this same area is where it kind of holds itself up and supports, and really expecting this thing to begin to appreciate over the next couple of months as we get through this rough patch in our summertime history. But it is down 11% over the past month. But again, over the past year, if you have been holding Bitcoin for over a year, you're up 242%. So you don't mind the temporary declines when you have a long-term perspective on this thing. We have been up as high as almost 65,000 at some point, and we are expecting, or I'm expecting, Bitcoin to begin to take off here and begin to appreciate, as I see that this space here is a great place where we're holding. I don't think it's going any much lower than this. I think that this is the support line for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Of course, I could be wrong, but as I'm reading this chart, I see it's not as many sellers as it has been. A lot of people are still holding on for dear life and believing in the long-term value, long-term appreciation of this particular asset. So Bitcoin is down. Let's see if this thing is pulling up. All right, while I do that, let me see if I can catch up on any comments you guys are making. Oh, okay, you do Cash App also? Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, this thing moves so slow. Jeez Louise, it was just up. All right, there we go. So we see that now we're approaching, as far as cryptocurrency, total cryptos, 10,952, approaching 11,000. Tokens that have been increased. Be very careful out there. I would say probably 95% of the tokens that have been developed won't really be worth much of anything. We got 385 exchanges. These are places that you could across the world that you could buy and sell cryptocurrency. Volume over the past 24 hours in the entire market of $100 billion flowing in and out. We have a total market cap of 1.27 trillion. Now that's a drop. We've been up as high as 1.71 trillion, and now we're actually as high as 2 trillion when it was at its trading at its highs. Now we're down to 1.27 trillion dollars that's in this total cryptocurrency market. That would be Bitcoin and everything else. And the other 10,951 coins got a total of $1.27 trillion that's flowing in this particular market. 46% of the market is Bitcoin. 46% of that 1.27 trillion is Bitcoin. Another 17% is Ethereum, representing 63% of the market is between these two coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum, holding the largest market caps, $587 billion, $217 billion flowing in and out of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the two most valuable, popular, most important coins in this space are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's down 1.25%. It looks like over the past 24 hours, according to Coin Market Cap. Ethereum's down 5% as well. And so we see that, prices down across the board over the past 24 hours. Now, what I like to do is, let's see here if we see anything that's up. So I'm going to look here and do a quick little adjustment. And not much has moved up. So, as we're hitting Monday, past this holiday, I would actually expect money to start flowing back into these assets this week. Over the next couple of days, I may come back tomorrow and see that this stuff has risen, and we'll take a look at sentiment in just a second. So, really, not a lot of upward movement or a lot of consolidation. A lot of coins have lost steam over time. But let's talk about Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity jumped up, I think, Saturday. I want to say like 20% or something like that. It's a game, some type of gaming platform. But it's, as much as they jumped up, they jumped back down as well. So that's kind of like a pump and dump type thing, where if you got in on the front end, you were good. But as we see, that thing dropped 15% over the past 24 hours after its steady flow. But that Axie Infinity stuff that was taking place with this gaming cryptocurrency caused other gaming cryptocurrency to jump up, like Flow, Synthetics, SushiSwap. All of these were having articles that they were up, right? But then as we move 24 hours later, they lose that steam, that money drops off, and I would say they're more of what they really are trading at right now starts to take the place. We've been looking at this coin called Helium. This is kind of something that's on our radar as well. So I know some people have gotten into the Helium network, the what I want to call them. What are they called? The hotspots on the Helium network. So for those that are in that, Helium is an actual coin, HNT. It's the 70th rated coin in the market. We may take a look at that sometime this week. It's trading at $10.20. And people are using those hotspots to accrue Helium tokens. So it is important to know what's going on with the token and the project itself. Aave, which they just mentioned, it was $243.92. We saw that article where they were partnering or looking to create that decentralized social media platform that rivals Twitter. But yeah, I mean, these are some predominant names. Dogecoin, if you guys remember that, Dogecoin was a big rave. Let's take a look at Doge for a second. It was a big rave on Doge, going to the moon and all that stuff, man. This thing is 17 cents, right? That momentum stopped. A lot of that, a lot of, Elon Musk pumped it up over the weekend, but it's still down 12% in his market cap. It's down 7% as far as its price is concerned over the past 24 hours. And at one point, which is a month back about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, this thing was trading at about 63 cents. Right, this was all the pump. All the pump was taking place for Dogecoin. Everybody, believing in the moon mentality for this particular Dogecoin. But ever since then, guys, ever since May, ever since whatever took place in May of this year, May 6th, when it reached as high as 68%, it's done nothing but decline. Now, notice this. There's a difference between what we saw with Bitcoin and what we see with Dogecoin. With Bitcoin, we see the decline, but we also see the settle. We see where, at 31.5, it's settling, it's decline, but then it's starting to go sideways. With this Dogecoin, what do you see here? We don't see a place where it has settled. It's still on the decline, right? And also notice this, that when people start losing money, right? When it doesn't go according to plan, everybody gets quiet. How many guys are still hearing people talk about Dogecoin the way in which they were talking about it 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and everybody was kind of on it, right? And I was saying this is still, I don't see the value that they have in this particular coin, but now that is 17 cents, and now it might be coming into a range where it's more, it may make more sense in order to acquire at a lower price. Then no one's interested in it. And this is the difference in investing. Like, no one's interested in something when it's going down, although if you see long-term value in it, that might be a great time to buy. Everybody's interested in it when it's actually at all-time highs. And that puts them in position to actually lose money because they're buying something at its most expensive point than when it is at a less expensive point. I mean, it's a big difference between buying something at 63% or 63 cents than it is at buying something at 20 cents. Big difference between buying something at $60 or $75 than it is at buying it at $25. The value is, for that particular asset is going to remain the same, but the price, if it's cheaper, right, you feel like you get more bang for your buck. You're able to buy more shares. I can buy 3 coins at 25 cents versus the 1 coin at 75 cents. This is why the buy low, sell high mentality or philosophy will always be king in this thing called investing. And that's just what it is. But hey, we get real quiet out there, real quiet when things are not going as the plan. But this is a great time to be studying. It's a great time to be learning. It's a great time to be figuring out what's valuable. In the comments below, if you're a crypto investor, by the way, let me ask you this: if you're a crypto investor, right? What is let's say what is the one coin or one token that you really believe in? You know what? I really believe in this project. I really believe in where this is, the long-term value that this project can bring. Because understand that in crypto, you're not just buying if you're investing, you're not just buying a token, you're actually investing in the project. Very similar to how we looked at the stock market, and we understand that, hey, I'm not just buying a stock, I'm actually investing in the business. So if I begin to understand it, I say, well, do I like the business? Do I believe in the business? Do I believe in where its long-term, value that it brings into the marketplace? And do I believe in its prospects to grow, develop, and bring back a return? Well, on the crypto side, it's, hey, I'm not just investing in a token or this coin. I'm actually investing in the project that's behind it. That's why we spent time trying to learn about the coin or learn about the project that's behind the token. And then I say, well, hey, do I believe in this project? Do I believe in the founders and their vision for what they're looking to accomplish? Do I believe in the long-term value that this project is bringing to the marketplace? Then I can feel like I'm more of a educated investor and making an educated decision based off the research that I've done. But if you're just, hey, it's going to the moon and this, that, and this, and that without doing any research, then you put yourself in a position to lose money, and that's not what's up. Is there a website for that, King, to check it out to get more information on it? Is there a website for what? Sure, there's a website for everything. You for all of this stuff, you can probably just type it in to Google for Dogecoin if you want to find the website. And then here on this platform, which is we're on coinmarketcap.com. You can just come here. It's dogecoin.com if you want to look at their particular website. But those are some of the principles that come into play. Now it's very easy to kind of, even if I believed in Dogecoin, which I don't. I'm not a big believer in Dogecoin. I'm a holder of some of the Dogecoin just for the sake of I was able to get some rewards for it. But if I was a believer and I really felt like, man, 17 cents is a bargain, then I could go ahead and acquire some Dogecoin while it's down, believing in this long-term upside for what it'll be worth in the future. I'm not personally a believer in Dogecoin as a meme coin. I'm not going to invest in just foolish meme stuff. I mean, whoever can do that, that's fine. That's just not going to be a part of my portfolio. I'm looking for stuff that's going to make a difference in the world, that's going to change the way in which we live, that is bringing new technology, new solutions. Those are some of the things that I like to add to my portfolio, but nothing against those that believe in those and whatever value it brings to the marketplace. But if I did believe in it, I start looking at this thing at 17 cents saying, hey, this might be a bargain. This might be a good entry point for me as this thing is down. I'm buying low. I'm looking to buy low and sell high. And that's just, really, 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 I would say the simplest of investing terms or investing philosophies that are out there that has worked over the ages, right? But don't get scared. Don't be scared of some red. Don't be scared of down days, especially if you've done your due diligence or research on that particular coin or that particular project that's behind that coin. Now, I like XRP as well. XRP is very, very interesting. They are over here fighting against the SEC, doing their thing. So I'm a long-term holder of XRP. I've got it just sitting there as they fight the good fight, and hopefully they win that battle. You got Ethereum and Cosmos. Mr. Vivian said she's a believer in Ethereum and Cosmos. All right, and hold that thing long term and see where the things go. But there's going to be fluctuations in the market each and every day. I expect money to start flowing into the markets today. People looking for ways to increase their wealth, and these markets are one of those ways. Money, I believe, will probably start moving a little bit out of the stock market more into the cryptocurrency space. And we may see tomorrow that we're up. Today or Tuesday up, and the thing has moved up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. What else do I want to cover here today? I believe that's really it. We only got 9 minutes left, guy. I will say this. I was looking at something the other day, and Chainlink is really, really on my radar. I believe this is something I probably want to hold long term. It's one of the largest spaces where people are able to get Oracle information, which is bringing real world data into the blockchain. And this is one of the foremost tokens that's able to do that. And it's partnered with so many different projects that it inherently has its own increases its own value as those projects look to utilize that data. But we see the very similar thing here with this chart over the past year. This thing, all of this stuff, it kind of moves, they kind of move together. But probably the same around the time, about May 5th, May 8th, definitely not as sharp of a decline as we saw with Dogecoin, because it didn't get pumped up as much. But we saw that increase to $48 per coin, and then we see the drop down to those December levels prior to the rise, getting down to levels of support of $15, sub $20, or whatever the case may be. So, I believe cryptocurrency is, is at this moment providing huge buying opportunities for the tokens that you find great value in. And I don't believe that we're going to see these prices remain this way at these levels for very long. As as again, the fight is against inflation. The fight is the growth of wealth over time. And although in this new asset class, it just really feels like to me that we're reaching some support levels for all of these tokens, pretty much across, generally speaking, across the board. And so I believe that you can find some quality tokens, some quality crypto at pretty much low price. I'll take a look at XRP as well. What will happen to crypto if the grid is shut down? I don't know what will happen to our world if the grid is shut down. I mean, that reminds me of I think it was, what was that, Die Hard 3, where you had a fire sale. Everything will react accordingly, I think. I mean, it would be hard to buy and sell. I'd imagine the grid is shut down. But our whole world will be impacted if the grid is shut down. Like even banks, even credit cards, everything will be impacted. The stock market, Wall Street. If the grid shut down, everything gonna shut down. So same things that will happen anything else would be probably very similar to what will happen in cryptocurrency. But I don't think anybody gonna be thinking about cryptocurrency if the grid shut down. I think gonna be more things for us to concern ourselves with everyday life. Because there are people who are we're addicted to our phones, we're addicted to social media, we're addicted to technology. The grid shut down, it's going to be a whole bunch of people that are going to become suicidal because their addictions have been taken away from them. Yeah, everything shut down. The grid shut down. I don't know why I can't find XRP. I was going to look at it for you for just a second. I'll just do a quick search for you though, since you mentioned it. Let's take a look at XRP real quick. There we go. Now, I believe XRP is one of those interesting tokens because they got delisted off some of the exchanges, but they still are, I guess you say still fighting the SEC. The company still fighting it. Ripple is still fighting the SEC. But this has been a very interesting ride with Ripple, as it's if we take a look here at this, I want to take a look 1 year chart. I don't know why I did year to date. But Ripple is currently 57 cents. It's kind of been holding its own. It's had its decline as well, but very similar to Bitcoin. It looks like it's actually establishing, trying to establish its own support here around these levels. I'm a long-term believer in XRP. I believe once everything gets done in court, we may see exchanges relist this token to be traded, which is going to bring in more capital for XRP, which will grow its base there, and move up the ladder from number 7, quite possibly to number 3, 4, as far as their cryptocurrency rank is in the market. So anyway, guys, we take a look. I'm actually going to again be using this time to really look at both markets, the stock market and the crypto market. Doing a quick, try to do a quick summary of both. Find some interesting things that are taking place in the news between the two. Understand sentiment, good, bad, and different, and really, try to compare and contrast what's going on in both markets. So just like these other market movers or money movers, I can move my money accordingly to put it in the best position to win for my portfolio. But that's the time that we have here today on the Money and Power Show. I want to say, this was a Ripple reckoning the SEC. Ripple notched a small win this week with endless dust up with SEC. Judge ruled that Ripple may depose the former SEC official as a part of an ongoing lawsuit between the two parties. And what I'm saying is, what happens when this lawsuit is over? Whatever the final word is going to be, whatever the final judgment will be, man, this once this thing gets over, it could be a huge breakout for Ripple and XRP. But I want to say thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode, guys, of the Money and Power Show. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified global financial educator, taking a look here at the stocks and crypto, learning what we can about investing in either one of those two markets. I want you guys to remember this. What do I think about AMC? I bought at 10, didn't sell at 65, put a stop sell at 35, executed Wednesday. Now I want to cancel it. Can I? Well, you said it executed on Wednesday. You want to cancel it. How, if it executed, how would you stop something that executed? Or are you saying, I don't understand that what are my thoughts on AMC? I mean, I wasn't in I'm not a chaser of investments. Well, we can take a look at AMC real quick. I'll take a look at AMC tomorrow. Just remind me tomorrow, take a look at AMC for you or for us. I only got 2 minutes left, so I got to get up out of here. We got a show following us. So yeah, just remind me. Just remind me. We'll take. We can cover a look at AMC for you here tomorrow. But I want to say thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Today's episode. I want you guys to remember this: it takes a village. It starts with us. Let's build as we climb together. We all we got, beautiful people. Matter of fact, we all we really need, and thank God that's more than enough. Until next episode, you know what time it is, Mr. DJ. Let's hit that music.
The new Black Wall Street. Thanks you for joining the show. We gave a lot of great tips, but it's time to go. Take the knowledge we shared, hope you use it and grow. We will see you all there at the next episode of The New Black Wall Street. The New Black Wall Street.